We're all bundled up out here on the porch, ready to give you our predictions for this Sunday Vikings versus Lions game.
Yeah, I think we're ready, right? Came to me asking what's up with the Lions, who's playing, who's not playing. We've been really careful the last few times trying to anticipate who's injured, who may or may not be playing. Are we going to have a complete line? Aren't we? And I think I basically told you it doesn't.
That's exactly what you said.
I think the Vikings are a substantial underdog. Uh, the Lions are a better team every measurable category, from coaching to playing. They have injuries as well, yet they're able to fight through them. We're not. So uh, I don't think it really matters who specifically is in or out this week. I don't see any logical way I can predict the Vikings victory.
Ouch. Welcome back to our Ripples and Reflections podcast. We appreciate you joining us on this chilly Minnesota afternoon. We'll get through this with the help of the fireplace and the blankets.
Yes, welcome everyone.
I took a look at the Lions stats so far this year, and oh my gosh, it's they're doing really, really well. Good for them. I've got a friend who's a huge lifelong Lions fan, so I'm sure Anna's very happy this season. And I looked at some of the other podcasters and news predictors out there of the game, and it does not look good for the Vikings.
No, and you know, having said that, the Lions themselves are not without flaws. They've lost twice this year. You could argue they don't look as dominant as they did last year. That last year they looked dominant during the regular season and ended up getting beaten rather quickly in the playoffs. And so maybe this year they're taking a longer perspective on the whole thing, focusing more on winning the playoffs than the regular season. Now, both would be nice. I'm not so sure that as Vikings fans, we have much of a choice. We'll take what we can get, victory here, victory there. But I don't see the playoffs coming our direction.
No, sadly. I also noticed, and these are things that I'm learning. Vegas says the spread is 8.5. Does that mean 8.5 between the points of what the Lions get versus what the Vikings get?
Yeah, 8.5 basically means that Vegas has set the point differential at 8.5, meaning that you can actually get uh, a winning and a losing, because you're not going to bet on the half. That means, Vegas is saying that if they win by 8 points and you said that they'd win by less than 8.5, then you win. If they win by 9 points and you said they'd win by less than 8.5, then you lose. So it's simply the point spread on how Vegas is trying to manage an even distribution of wagering. An 8.5 is a pretty big differential from a Vegas perspective.
Oh, and see, here I was thinking it was small because I think the point differential is going to be, at least the difference in the scores is going to be much bigger than that. And so that's what I thought that was based off of.
And no, I think you're right. And I also think the point differential is going to be greater than 8.5. But it just happens to be how Vegas is managing the point at which they get an even distribution of wagerers.
Okay. And then the over under is 48.5. Does that mean total points of the two scores?
Yep, 48.5. So, uh, again, if you want to wager on over, you think it's going to be more than 40.5, and combined to get to 49, then you win. If they don't, then you lose. So, and I think it's a pretty high point spread. Once you start getting close to 50, it's a high scoring game. I think in this case, unfortunately, it probably means that they're suggesting it's 32 17 type of game, which is you know uh, probably less than what I think it's going to be. So,
Well, I think it's my turn to go first this week.
okay,
Is it?
sure.
I think it is. I actually wrote it down this week so I wouldn't flip flop and forget what I was going to say. I do agree that the Lions will win. Based on what they've been scoring in the last number of games, I'm going to go a little lower than what they traditionally have done, hoping that our defense can hold them off a little bit. And I'm going to say Lions 30, Vikings 16. And unfortunately, I think probably 9 points of that are going to come from field goals. I'm going to go deep into that one because I know people razzed me last time I guessed wrong, said that they'd win on a field goal and whatever. But I think, they're good for getting downfield and then not getting the touchdown. So why not take the field goal?
Yeah, I am. I'm also going to pick the Lions. I think it's going to be a pretty easy win for them. I hope I'm wrong. Don't get me wrong. I'm going to be rooting for Vikings, but trying to be somewhat realistic here. I think 35-17, and it's not going to be that close. It's just at the very end, you always get some garbage points. And so we're probably down 35-10, and then we end up scoring one more touchdown to make it seem closer than it really was. We're going to probably get dominated on both sides of the ball.
Okay. And Wentz is out.
Yep.
And the talk is that McCarthy's going to play. Now, I watched, I don't remember which podcast it was, two guys on YouTube. That's not the name of their YouTube channel. But they had heard rumors that McCarthy isn't a shoe-in for being our quarterback on Sunday.
I have not heard that. I don't know who else we would play. Um,
I think they were talking about our next backup.
yeah, the uh, undrafted free agent out of Minnesota.
Yes.
That's a nice storyline. I think that would be kind of interesting. But boy, I don't know what that tells you about McCarthy. What I saw as of yesterday, he was taking the first line snaps, which basically is an indicator that he is going to be the starting quarterback. So I do think it's going to be JJ. And again, he may turn out to be a good quarterback long term, but he is still a rookie. His first two outings have not been good. What I'm actually more interested in is progression. Is he getting better? Does he feel like he has visibility of the field of play, anticipate what's happening, read defenses, is getting better at that? But equally important, I'm looking for the injury. Can he stay healthy?
Yes.
He's not stayed healthy for the first year and a half. And that's really the most important thing. You've got to be healthy to be playing, to be a health future.
When he has to be protected so he doesn't get tackled. And oh my gosh, I'll be very nervous watching him if he isn't the quarterback on Sunday and hope that he can make it through the entire game and not get injured or open up wounds out of a past injury.
Yeah, it's yeah, for sure. And I really hope that's the case. And I hope we see progression. Somewhat disappointing that it's slightly under the halfway mark of the season that we're talking in terms of progression. And hopefully we're getting ready for next year versus getting ready for playoffs. But boy, I have seen nothing. I mean, nothing to indicate that they're a team that simply hasn't quite gotten their lucky breaks yet. No, they've just been outplayed both sides of the ball. So
that's a bummer. Well,
it is.
You can see we're still wearing the Viking gear. We're still hopeful for something to cheer for.
Yeah, the sad part is we're getting used to it, right? Year after year after year. It's just at what point are we ultimately disappointed? I've been a fan for over 50 years, and the reality is I've been ultimately disappointed in every one of those years. I play the game to win the big game, and they have never ever won the big game. So I have been disappointed every single year. It just depends on how early in am I disappointed.
Yeah. I'm right there with you with over 50 years of being a fan. Yep. From a young kid, I'd watch the games with my dad on Sundays. So,
so for those of you who judge me harshly for having a backup or maybe a tertiary backup team to root for, this year it's the Broncos. It's been the Patriots, and I still like Baker, so not the team as much as him. So I do have backups, and being a Vikings fan, you better have a backup just to extend your season a little longer.
I'm kind of hoping that some of the Viking stuff goes on sale so I can extend my Viking wardrobe. I need an actual Viking scarf, so This isn't cutting it. It's got too much orange in it. So,
Well, maybe you'll snag a sponsor for your podcast
oh, there we go.
to get you a scarf.
Would somebody want to get me a Viking scarf? Vikings, come on, NFL shop. Anyway, so we will be watching the game. We'll do our recap afterwards. Let's everybody stick in there together and stay positive.
Yep.
Go Vikings!
Oh, is that convincing?
Yeah, sure. Okay, we're still recording, but that's okay. I don't know if it's my camera settings. I'll have to check that later. But do you see the difference in our pictures?
Yes.
Yeah, it's been that every time we sit out here.
Have a camera something. Scott, I've sat over there and mine is fine.
No, you haven't. I've always
I
sat
sat
here.
next to you. Oh, that was with yours.
And that was, yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna get what is it, dictionary.com. Did I text that to you yesterday? Do you remember?
6, 7. Yeah, I think so.
Yes. All right, we may be a little older than some of our viewers and definitely older than our kids, but we heard
And their kids.
and
And our kids probably aren't into what you're about to broach.
no. Do we have you guessing 6, 7? Or do they just say 6, 7? I saw an article yesterday from dictionary.com. This is how far this has gotten, this trend. Dictionary.com has announced that 6, 7 is the 2025 word of the year. And what was your response after I sent you the article?
I hate to break it to dictionary.com, but the numbers, and that's how they phrased it in their posting, are the numbers 6, 7, claiming that 6, 7 is a new word. It's an acceptable word in the dictionary. And I hate to break it to them, but 6, 7 is a number. 67, or two distinct numbers. 6, 7 is not a word. It might be slang. It might be the hip thing to say if you're 12 years old. I don't know.
Or when a group of us and our friends get together and it happens to come up in funny conversation, we just toss it in at the appropriate times. Yeah, we laugh.
Yeah, we're mocking it though. That's
We are.
so I'm happy to mock it. I'm happy to mock lots of things, and I'm sure people are happy to mock lots of things I say. But 6, 7 is not a word. Maybe slang. It is a number. It has no business being in a dictionary. Although I was watching, and you're going to be surprised, I was watching Good Morning Football this morning.
Wait, shock! You're watching Good Morning Football? Without me.
It's on 5 mornings a week, so odds are I'm going to catch it 5 mornings a week. And Kyle Brandt brought up not 6, 7, but he brought up for a different topic that shh is a word in the dictionary. SHHHH. S and 4 H's.
4 H's.
And that it is an acceptable word. It's in the dictionary. And that's an acceptable word for Scrabble. So, at least those are letters. So I'm going to go there. I'm not here to second guess anybody. I didn't do any independent research. I can see how that might be a word. We use shh. We use shh. But that is also a word in the dictionary, and it's supposedly an acceptable word for Scrabble.
I thought it would be spelled. I'm a terrible speller, but I would have thought it would be SH or SHH. But Kyle said that there's 4 H's.
No, he didn't call it out, but there was a graphic
Okay.
that showed SHHHH. So I don't want to lay that at Kyle's feet. It might have been a producer, but I'm not doubting it. I just haven't done any research on it. But that is also a word, but at least there are letters. So
True.
here we go.
My friend Natalie was doing a Instagram story today with her, I think he's in his early 20s, son, about 6, 7. And she also had seen the dictionary.com. And it was interesting for her to tell him what dictionary.com was saying as the definition. And my interpretation of his reaction was like, no, there's no definition. It's just a saying. It's just a slang. It's don't say it, mom. Kind of the vibe is what he was getting from her. And I thought it was great. Like I said, we're making fun of it in our group of friends, having laughs with it. And I think even dictionary.com and others are saying they're not even sure where this originated from. Was it from a basketball player who's 6'7"? Who knows? But that's the trend right now. It'll probably be out by Christmas. Or who knows? Somebody might create a game called 6, 7.
And there are lots of things that have multiple meanings, but there have to be some meanings there, unless, of course, you have Groot, and I am Groot is means anything and
Everything.
everything, depending on how you enunciate.
So, do you have anything else?
Maybe that's it with 6, 7.
What's
It
that?
depends what it means on how you enunciate it. So 6, 7 or 6, 7,
6, 7?
67, 6. All those mean different things, I'm sure.
They do, probably.
Mhm.
We used it in many different ways the other night with our friends. It came up in all sorts of topics and who knows, maybe that's how the teenagers, started this whole thing. Maybe somebody made a comment. Our favorite number that we randomly throw out is
13,
now
82.
82.
Our favorite number is 13.
Our
That's
favorite
our
number is
lucky
13.
number. 82 is our random
So who knows? Maybe we'll start a trend with 82.
82. So anytime somebody asks you, well, how many are there? 82. Doesn't matter if it's 1 or 13 or 6,000, the number is 82.
How many do you want? 82.
Mhm.
Anything else?
No, I think that's plenty. Enough wisdom.
For this week,
We're all out of wisdom.
we'll come back with more next week.
Maybe.
If you have any topics you want us to discuss with all of our wisdom, just let us know.
All right. Till next time.
Thanks for watching.
All right. Bye bye.